So going back to what you all were saying, I think the most interesting part about, the anger and whatnot that you experience throughout your life, even, going up to the elderly ages, the situations don't necessarily change, right? So you're still going to experience those, situations that in the past you would have like jumped over the edge, but those situations aren't changing. It's just your reaction to the situation that is, developing a lot differently now.
That's right.
So yeah, man, that was clutch.
Because you're thinking consequences too.
Exactly.
When you're young, it's just you're so emotional.
You're in the
You're
moment.
just acting without really thinking what maybe
What can come out of this?
right.
Yeah.
Like not. It's like if I fight this dude and knock him out, hell yeah, I'm badass.
Exactly.
But now you're an adult. If I knock this dude out, I can get sued.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or what if he falls down, snaps his head open?
Exactly. Yeah.
Or snaps his neck and breaks his head open.
And then involuntary manslaughter.
Yeah, exactly.
No, like you're thinking
right.
about the crime, and then you're like, oh, well, I got a house, I got a kid. Like, what's gonna happen to them? So there's the game. There's more risk as you get older.
Yep.
You have more at risk, so
Absolutely.
you think about these things to be a better protector.
Yep.
Right, like. Being a better protector is not necessarily meaning better fighter physically. It's like being able to choose the right battles to fight. Like what we're talking about now, manhood, rescuing kids, right? Rebuilding families. These are the battles that we've chosen to fight. Is it popular? Hell no. Like we are going against the grain.
Oh yeah.
But we also know this is the battle that needs to be fought. These are the topics that need to be talked about. These kids, these teenagers, these young men are going to grow up thinking, oh, this is what it means to be a guy.
Yep.
This is what it means to be a man. And they have no better example. That like I said, like we said, like that impact you made on that kid's life, man. That's gonna have ripple effects, hopefully.
Hopefully.
And that's what we aim to do is like, hey, how in one way or another, with or without us, the world will continue. Our kids will grow up with or without us.
Yeah, man.
How can we make it a better place for them while we're here?
Let's see.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So I'm not gonna lie to you. Going into the situation, like I said, I was hot blooded, man. And when I got into the parking lot again, I had to stop and I had to pray. I was like, oh, Lord,
Ooh,
just
that's a good move.
Please just give me the strength to be able to deal with this
Wait, did
situation.
you really? Did you pray? So you prayed?
I did,
Oh my
man.
God.
Wow,
That was a great
that's
move.
really good. I
Yeah,
don't
right
do that.
before it was like, give me the words that I need to go about being able to speak.
As
to
you're
this
pulling
man.
out your Glock from your
Lord.
head.
Thank you, Lord. No, he puts it back. He puts it back. Thank you, Jesus.
Exactly.
Thank you, Jesus.
Exactly,
Oh.
man. Yeah, So
I love that
I
so
went out
much.
there and my heart was like pounding out of my chest, like I just got done sprinting, right?
Wow.
Yes.
And then I prayed, and as I'm talking to him, it's still there. But then as I walk away, coming back down to normal, I was like, oh, I did really good.
That's
Thank
really
God,
cool.
man. Thank
Absolutely.
God for that.
Absolutely, man. Let me see. But like I said, man, I think it's really just being amongst you all. You know what I mean? And it's the fear of disappointing, right? Because if we are going to be using this platform to go about reaching out to people and saying, hey, there's a better way of going about this thing called life.
Yeah.
How can we be hypocrites and, go against what it is that we're saying?
Right.
You
Right.
know?
And those are really good examples. But I guarantee you there's some bad examples that will come from us. And that's okay, right? Like, we're not here trying to put on hey, I'm the perfect Christian guy.
Exactly.
I go to church and I pray and, I have the perfect response when my daughter lies to me and I find her. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, that's a
absolutely.
great example. Alfredo and I still have kids that are, like, really young.
Yeah.
So you're about to hear some crazy stories. Like, I
Yeah,
couldn't,
man.
I prayed.
We're about to hit a learning curve.
I prayed, but my gun still came out.
Telling you, man.
So I called Bryant, but it still came out.
I told God, let your will be done, but I
Exactly.
still did my
I
will.
still did it. I'm sorry. I'm
Exactly.
sorry.
Exactly, man.
But that's what's so funny, man. Like, the different experiences we've had in life, the different paths we've taken. And here we are sharing the stories and the golden nuggets with it all. And I've learned so much from what the stories you're sharing. I learn a lot from when you're sharing. And it's like, wow, these conversations are literally entertaining because we're laughing every like 10 minutes. But it's also very educational, right? And I feel like that's how you make that impact. You got to be able to entertain them, right? And tell them like, hey, this is the reality.
Exactly.
You got to be able to empower them, give them some hope, Give them some, hey, it can get better. It does get better.
Exactly.
You just got to want it, and you got to make that change for yourself.
Exactly.
And then the impact comes right after that.
Yeah, man.
You know, and I mean, that's...
No.
Yeah, so as much as fun as this is, it's also very educational for me.
Yeah, man.
For all of us, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna remember this story for whenever like the girls grow up. I'm
Yeah, man.
definitely gonna remember this story because
Trust
man, like my brother always tells me he loves to taunt me, and he's like, "You're gonna repay everything you did in your youth, you
Yeah.
know, with because now you have 3 girls, you can
Exactly.
repay, you know." I'm like, "Shut up!" And so dude, I was wild. I was that kid that you were talking about. Like
Trust
they
me.
didn't have any fun in middle school and
Yeah.
high school, and then when they
Oh,
got
you were
out
that
there,
guy?
I was that guy,
Exactly.
man.
Really?
I went crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
I went crazy. And so I got to experience it all. And, you know, having that experience and then coming to Jesus, I'm just like, oh, yeah, that was wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
I shouldn't have said that. Ooh, I should have done that.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
So you were not say sheltered, but would that be a proper word for it or no?
I can't say that I was sheltered because I was still I went to public school. You know what I mean? Like I
Still saw it.
I
all.
got to experience a lot of things, you know, in middle school and all that jazz. But as sheltered as a kid from Rogers Park, Chicago can be, you know what I mean? That went to public school.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah,
Absolutely.
sure. Like my
Yeah.
parents really, like, you know, they didn't let me go to sleepovers.
Right.
Couldn't go to certain parties.
Mom, why? Everybody else is
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah. You know, I couldn't
Yeah.
do certain things, and I was that kid. You just want. I wanted to explode. You know. You
Yeah.
know. I just wanted. I had this like ants in my pants. I just needed to.
Yeah.
And when I finally did get out, I was
Yeah.
loud. I was obnoxious. I was
Exactly.
like, I was that kid.
Yep.
And so, anywho, yeah. And so
He's like, let's not talk about that today.
yeah, my brother's like, you're gonna repay everything you ever did.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, shut up, don't say that to me. And so I remember, like when you said snuck out, I was like, oh yeah, I was that
Yeah.
kid, you know. And
I was too.
yeah, you know, like I did a bunch of stuff in my youth, you know. And I'm just like now as a father, I'm like, God, I hope they don't do that shit to me.
Exactly. Exactly. You know?
Please don't do that shit to me.
Exactly.
You know.
Let me see your phone real quick. I want to play a game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Let's play a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's my greatest fear, though, man. You know, like, yeah, let me see your phone, and then you accidentally press the pictures, then you, oh no,
Yeah, see, that's another one. Yeah, that's another thing.
no.
Yep, that was me.
You're crushing me right now.
Yep.
yeah, you know, I'm telling you, man. Yeah.
What?
And then you start seeing cucumbers in her phone. It's like, damn, man.
No, that's not what the eggplant means.
Hey,
I
you
know what it means.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
Oh my god!
You know,
No, I can't.
That's a fear right
can't
there.
do it.
That
Telling
is
you,
a
man.
fear.
Stop it.
You know, but I think about it, man.
I'm
it's
like grabbing my coffee like tighter and tighter.
I'm telling you, man. But I think about it. It's like, man, I think every man that has had daughters in the past has experienced this as well. You know, because of course nobody wants to let their daughter. Well, I can't say that because in the past I did used to use their daughters as like bargaining chips. You know, to go about getting land and such. You know.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that was
you
wild,
know,
bro.
Yeah,
I was like,
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
the more modern man, I'll say, you know, they don't want to go about letting their daughters go just because they know, you know, what could potentially happen. And man, setting them up like that, or you know, seeing the setup, you know, taking place, the chess moves that are, you know, aligning. Like, oh no,
God.
you know, it's tough, man. It's
Yeah,
tough.
it is.
Let's see,
But you know, this whole conversation about being a king was, to summarize, it starts with yourself.
Oh yeah.
When you can lead yourself and lead yourself well, that fruit multiplies into the different areas of your life. Your faith, your family, your fitness, freedom. Especially your family. Because that's the next kingdom you're being called to.
Yeah. Then you're worthy of leading others.
Then exactly.
Then you're worthy.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people out there, they want to lead. Just
Yep.
do as I say.
exactly,
You know.
Right.
exactly,
But they're not doing anything that they want to see done.
exactly.
You know?
Right. It's like if I tell Lana as she gets older, you should work out in the morning. You should do this. You should do this. Then she sees me just eating donuts and drinking coffee and not
Yep.
really like taking care of myself. It's like that doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
Angela, people already know you're a cop, man. It's okay.
Exactly.
Well, you know, I like coffee and donuts before. So.
Exactly.
But
No.
but if she sees me getting up in the morning, you know, reading my Bible, spending time with God,
Yeah.
I don't really have to necessarily say a whole lot of things, maybe to bridge a couple things in her mind. But she'll see it, and then that will emulate.
Exactly.
You know, hopefully.
It's legit.
Right? But it starts with leading yourself. You know, if you're a man and you're listening today and you got kids and you know you want to be a better leader in your household, well, start with what you can control, and that's yourself, your
That is
emotions,
correct.
your mindset,
Dude.
your actions, your habits.
Exactly.
Yes.
What are you investing into yourself? Because the things you do every day, that's investing your time into the different areas that you really care about. So if you say you want to be a better leader and you want to have a better body, or you want to have a better level of fitness, or just be healthy or whatever, what are you actually doing to invest in that area of your life? Because you can't say you want it and just hope and pray that all of a sudden you're going to wake up with a freaking six-pack.
Yep.
It doesn't work that way.
Exactly.
And
Are you
that's
sure?
why
Are you sure?
he's like, well, look at this then. Explain this.
Maybe if you starve yourself. You know?
Maybe you start right.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that's part of why I believe fitness is such a big thing, not just for discipline, but this definitely for discipline, but for the fact that you can see physical results. Like it's hard to see results when, hey, I've been praying more,
Yeah.
I've been trusting God more. Like you'll see more blessings, but the
Fruits of the Spirit.
yeah, exactly. You'll see that. But with fitness, you can't lie.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
You cannot lie when it
Yes.
comes to fitness.
Exactly.
You cannot tell me you've been training for this workout or this event, or you've been working out 5-6 days a week, and I see you 6 months from now and you still look the same.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Absolutely.
see. Let's
Absolutely.
see.
I'm
And
a
I'm not,
yes.
and I'm not trying to summarize fitness as just a number either. But today fitness now for me is more of like it's a daily discipline. My body doesn't want to do it, but I know like I have to train my mind to do the hard things because God doesn't call us to have this easy life.
There you go.
Right? So it's like, okay, I gotta prep my mind and my body to prepare for the day and whatever hard thing comes at me. Because if I do the hard things first, everything else is a little bit more easy.
Exactly.
And the hard thing really is getting up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., whatever, before work, putting in that iron therapy,
Yep.
and then getting ready for the rest of the day. So
Exactly.
you cannot tell me you want something different because in your body at least, because fitness you cannot lie. You'll either drop the weight or you'll put on some muscles, you'll burn some fat, and that's one of the things that you will see a physical change in your life. And that's where I start with a lot of this stuff where it's like, okay, if I'm feeling crappy, if I feel like I'm in a mood, how's my fitness? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I have a big sweet tooth. I love cookies. I love sugar.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's legit.
I just love snacks and sugar. Like huge sweet tooth. But I know that if I keep letting my body lead me to these cravings, I'm not going to end up where I need to be. I'm not going to be the dad and the father and the husband I want to be. You know, like it's a different thing where I bet you would have a different sense of confidence if you weren't as fit as you are right now when you walked up to that kid. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because if you are like chubby and overweight and you're lacking the self-confidence, when you present yourself to other people,
Now I have something to prove.
yeah, exactly. You come off different.
Yeah.
There's a different sense.
Yep.
That's why you see a lot of these, like, straight up, a lot of bodybuilders are the most insecure people I've known. And I know a lot of them. And y'all know straight up, like, and they're the biggest dudes in the gym.
Yep.
But it's like, dude, they're really like they were either bullied a lot when they're, and this is not all of them, but they're really fighting something internal.
I was gonna ask you, like, what do you think that is? Because is it just them like hyper focusing on some like little muscle group that they can't, whatever, or is it because they were bullied when they were younger, or they used to be fat, or what?
Yeah, something like that. Or like they didn't have that confidence growing up, and the first thing as a young man that you kind of have free access to is the gym. Not free, but like low level, like, you know what I mean? It's a low barrier of entry.
Yep. It's just something I can actually control.
I can
Yeah, I guess
control.
so. That's what I
That
was gonna
exactly.
say.
That's the one.
Yep.
All these people are bullying me. I can't control them, but I can control myself.
Right.
Exactly.
Then they
Right.
get all Dragon Ball Z brawler.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously. And then you start to put on this mask.
Yeah.
This mask of like, I'm the shit.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
huge. I'm strong. It doesn't translate.
Exactly.
Because like we all know that it's not the biggest, baddest dude with all the muscles that are really badass. It's usually the quiet dude that's kind of like, you know what I mean? That's semi-fit that will put you to sleep.
Dude.
It's
You
the
know?
meek
It's the
165
meek.
pounder
Exactly.
that at the gym you start rolling with.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Puts you to sleep every time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's legit.
Yeah, like I think so. There's this event that freak, what is it called? Not Battle of the Badges, Urban Shield. It's this huge like tactical competition in the Bay Area, and they invite all the top like SWAT teams, special operations teams all over the world.
Yeah.
They come into California in the Bay Area. They shut down certain locations to run real life scenarios, simunitions, and you know they had the Israeli dudes out there, and they had dudes like all over the world to compete in this Urban Shield. I loved it because our department always participated. And it was really cool when I would talk to, and part of my draw to the SWAT team was like I wanted to compete in that. One of the guys I was talking to who has competed in multiple Urban Shield, I think it's like 48 or 72 hours too. Like there's minimal sleep. You're just going from location to location to like keep going through like all the different scenarios. They got like a plane, you rappel down the Golden Gate Bridge. Like it's sick. So anyways, he was telling me that you got all these different dudes and they're all decked out and they're super like tactical, looks all badass dudes. But the Israeli dudes who look like they're like teenagers,
malnourished,
kind of. Yeah. He's like they don't have really a whole lot of muscle. They're not the most intimidating dudes, but they kill it.
Yeah.
Their endurance is top notch,
Man.
and that's not even their A team. They actually, my friend was telling me, their top A team and B teams have been uninvited. Like they can't come.
Wow.
They have to send like their bench to come compete
bench
here
warmers?
because
Yeah.
he's like, dude, these guys run for days. They are fearless. They just operate differently because they are in war all the time.
Yep.
So their SOPs are different than our
Yes.
SOPs.
Yep.
He told me this situation. I don't know if I can say this, but I'm not going to be dropping names. Anyways, he told me one of the scenarios that they were able to watch the Israeli team do, and it was a surrounding call out. They surround the house. There's hostages. There's people inside. All the American teams, most of the American teams, get on the PA, come out, wait, come out, negotiate, right?
Yep.
And it's like this long drug out, because that's what we're essentially trained to do. The Israeli team was like, and I'm butchering this, but they're like, we're going to give you 3 chances. If you don't come out by the 3rd one, we're going to come in there and kill everybody.
Damn.
I was like, what? He's like, these dudes don't mess around.
Old
Because-
Testament, baby. Old Testament.
I know,
Slaughter
they're like,
everything.
yeah. I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. I was like, those dudes just operate differently.
Yeah.
And they're legit. Ask you 1 time, ask you 2 times. The 3rd one, they're going in that house, and everyone who's in there is going down.
Oh,
I was like,
man.
that is gangster,
Yeah,
bro. Like,
exactly.
that is gangster.
I wonder how they do that with hostages inside, though. How do they?
It's just, I mean,
how do they know who
it's
is the
more-
good guys and the bad guys?
Well, that's the thing too, right? I'm sure there's different situations for it, but with surrounding callouts, those could last for hours.
yeah. 'Cause they're at a
and-
standoff.
exactly. So like, oh, we'll try to smoke them out, or we'll send a robot in there or something, and it's like, okay. But at the end of the day, it's not the same as getting in there and taking care of business.
Yeah.
Right.
These guys are in a war. Their country is at war
Yeah,
constantly.
constantly,
So
yeah.
they need to be moving fast. They need to operate quickly.
Yep.
They don't got time to sit there for 3 minutes while I try to get your mom on the phone so she can talk to you and get you to come out without any problems.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm going to give you 3 chances.
Yep.
And now that what happens is those bad guys there, they also know they got 3 chances.
exactly.
Versus here, they're like, they're going to wait. I'm going to wait. Send me
Exactly.
some popcorn. No
Exactly.
salt. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
No, yeah, you're
You know
right.
what I
They
mean?
start making demands.
Right.
Give me a boat.
Give me a
And $3 million in a foreign
This
bank.
is Grand Theft Auto.
Exactly.
But it's a different thing. You know what I mean? And So yeah, it's great competition. I forgot what I was like. How do we even end up there?
No, man. I think that would be something worthwhile to look into, man.
Fitness. That's what we're talking about. Fitness.
Yeah, man. Maybe we get like a competition started up. We could say it's for men, and then evolve it to women and children. Later on. And
Oh,
such.
for
But,
sure.
have you ever seen I forget what it's called, but it's like a gauntlet essentially, right? Where they put people through essentially like a hell week.
Oh yeah.
And you're
Seal
operating
fit?
off it. No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
It has like a shield on it, like a Spartan face, but it has a shield around it.
Okay.
And they're running these people through essentially like a hell week. The first 2 or 3 days, you're only getting like maybe 30 minutes of sleep total.
Damn. I'm out.
Hey, but then they have you, log carrying and crawling around with your log, and you got
Log
like
PT, bro.
Yeah, and then you got like a rucksack and all that other craziness, man. But you're operating as a team.
Yeah.
And then, just going through this week or 2 weeks, however long the course is, you end up having friends for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Because you're sharing hardship.
I could see that, definitely.
You know what that is? It's the shared suffering.
Yeah.
That's why
Absolutely.
there's a bond with a lot of military law enforcement. Like it's like we may not really like each other. Our personalities may not match.
Yep.
But because we went through the same crap,
Yep.
we got our asses beat together. We went through the same suffering. That bonds us.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
that it's so interesting because you don't really see that in a lot of other communities.
Yeah.
That haven't had that type of shared suffering. Like there's a lot of guys in you think about it as a cop. You have a lot of egos to balance.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's got a big ass ego. So there's naturally guys that you're not gonna like.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? When shit hits the fan, I
can
know
trust
he's
him.
gonna be there to have my back.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
vice versa. I'm gonna have his back. I don't care if I don't like you personally.
Yeah.
But I get where you came from. So
Exactly.
I got your back.
Yeah.
There
But
is
if
a
you're-
brotherhood.
There is still, yeah. But if you're a slug and you're totally opposite, then
Yeah.
I don't trust you.
Exactly.
It's a different thing.
So how badass would that be for the church to go about going through something like that?
Oh, that would be dope.
Yeah, we set up something where it's like Christians. Yeah, we're
Why
gonna
are there
go through-
crosses back there?
Exactly. It's like
Who's
oh,
getting crucified?
man. Yeah, you're gonna carry this cross.
You're gonna carry this cross, yeah.
10 miles. Oh man.
We call it
Yeah.
the Iron Cross. right
Exactly.
there.
Just make it just hell on earth, right? And then you come out on the other side, and then you actually feel bonded with the people that you came through
Yes.
the challenge with.
Yes.
That'd be badass.
Yeah, dude, that's what I love about fitness too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's that physical pain.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm gonna deal with any kind of pain, I'd rather deal with physical pain.
Exactly.
Emotional, mental, spiritual pain, like that hurts.
Exactly.
And that lingers and it sucks. But the thing with physical pain and fitness is you'll be better.
Exactly.
You'll be fine.
Exactly.
We did an ice bath the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Not
Not together. Like separately. Like
Well, we didn't fit. We didn't fit. That's why.
yeah, yeah.
it.
Yeah.
How come I didn't get the invite?
Because we wouldn't fit. We wouldn't fit. That's why. So, he started coming over in the mornings and we started working out. And, we did like an ice bath thing. And it's like, the thing that I love about the ice bath is when you get in there and it's cold and it sucks, it takes your breath away.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, and your breathing is the first thing that you'll notice,
Yep.
right? Outside of being cold and your toes are like cold and shit, like your breathing is the first thing to go. You're like, but then you realize, just like anything in life, when you just breathe,
Yep.
just breathe,
Yeah.
you'll get past it.
Exactly.
And it'll pass.
Exactly.
And these physical stressors that we go through every single morning, every single day, it's just, you just realize like it's temporary.
Exactly.
Like, so I love fitness is just a discipline. It really is a lifestyle.
It is,
I know
man.
a lot of people market it, it's a lifestyle, but they don't really mean it like that.
Yeah.
When you look at it as a lifestyle, as a lifelong journey, a lifelong, way of discipline, it changes it.
Exactly.
Because when you make it real, when I say make it real, like, why are you doing it? Not just to be healthier or lose weight, and, maybe gain some muscle. That's usually the initial thing. The real thing is like, what do you want to be around for?
Mm-hmm.
I want to be in good shape that when my daughter gets married, I can dance with her and not need a cane.
Exactly.
And not be like, oh, my back hurts, I can't do this.
Yep.
Like, there was a guy, I forgot, but he said something like, fitness to me is being able to do what I want to do for as long as I want to do it.
That's
Longevity.
Longevity, yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Longevity. And
Absolutely.
that's you take that same discipline from the results that you see from your fitness and you apply that to your faith.
Yeah, man.
What if I worked out every day? I'll lose and I'll gain muscle, whatever. Cool.
Yep.
But what if I also prayed every day?
Exactly.
What if I sought God every day?
Exactly.
What if I chose peace over anger?
Exactly. No, that is filthy. Yeah, man. So I remember going through boot camp, and one of the things that they would have us do whenever we messed up, we would be, in the push-up position, just holding it at the top, and then, our drill instructors would say, through pain, and then you do the bottom position, and then you say, comes discipline, and you push up, and then you're holding it there, and, undisclosed amount of time for how long you're going to be there, but you just scream this thing over and over again. And it's supposed to be one of those things that makes you like recognize what it is that you're doing wrong.
Yes.
And then actually go about building onto it as opposed to staying the same.
Yes.
So like you said, like you both said, incorporating that kind of stuff into like the spiritual realm, where now you're developing that discipline to, hey, even if 5 o'clock in the morning is what it is, and I have to dive into my Bible at that time, let me do it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, man.
That's why it's like, it's such a great thing. Like when you do start off with fitness, even if you're not a believer, right? When you start off with fitness, you see it hurts today, but in the long term, you finally see the results, and you take that same exact mindset and framework and you apply it to different areas.
Exactly.
What if I wanted to be a better father? What if I did this every single day? What if I need to be a better husband? What if I did this every single day? And it's like you start to see the compounding effect of the actions and the things that you are putting, the things you're investing to every single day. And that's what it just gets broken down to. Like, what are you doing today? Because that's where where you invest your time is what's going to grow.
That's where you make your money.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
So I want to add on to what you were saying, the biblical version of that mantra from the military. It's Romans 5:3. Romans chapter 5, verse 3 to 5 says, "Not only so, but we also glory in our suffering, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit, who has been given to us." So just that bit of, suffering produces perseverance, character, and character.
That's
hope.
Romans?
That's Romans,
Dude,
yeah.
I think James has almost the same thing.
Oh,
that's
yeah?
repeated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
because that's one of my favorite ones, where like perseverance, character. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, they all cross quote each other, which is amazing.
I
One of
love
the
that.
most amazing things about the Bible.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And how they
didn't know that.
cross quote time,
Yes.
like all of the Old Testament and the New Testament, even though they were written hundreds of years, thousands of years, whatever, they all cross quote each other.
Yeah,
It's
crazy. Have you guys ever seen that image where like it was like an image of like the Bible, and then they drew a line for all the different things that that connect.
Yeah.
and it's like a beautiful rainbow.
Exactly.
When it all you're like, dude, that's
Yeah.
artistic right there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Nah, man. That's legit. That is legit. So yeah, man.
I love today's take on the King. It was not what I was expecting.
Real life experience.
This is
Exactly.
this is real King.
Yeah, man.
Real King, because I've had the opportunity to learn from a lot of different mentors before who have run multiple 7, 8, 9-figure businesses, and in my mind, like, that was a king. But I also knew that they didn't have that type of home life that I would like. But in my mind, they were still a king. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's just part of your family's got to understand, right? You did this for them. But now I'm like, yeah, that's not. This is the king. Like, you master yourself, then take stewardship over yourself, take stewardship over your family, then everything else after that will fall into place. And that's the first kingdom that we're called to, right?
That's legit.
Like to lead our wives, our kids, our families.
That's legit, man. I heard this quote not that long ago. It says, you don't accept advice from somebody that you wouldn't be willing to trade lives with.
Yes.
Right. And I think it's the same for just going about developing our everyday mannerisms. You know, if you're unwilling to go about trading lives with that person that you know is imperfect, you know, but they put on this image that, hey, you know, my home life is absolutely beautiful, you know, and such, you're going to end up struggling the same way that they did, maybe just, you know, differently. So in that, man, I started trying this new practice where, you know, if I woke up in the morning every day before and I was disgruntled and, you know, I wouldn't say anything to my wife, my daughter, I got into the habit of waking up and like, hey, you look beautiful this morning. What's going on? You know, and then me doing that, I was like, huh? You know what? Good morning. You know, but it just flipped the script, and I knew that was helping them have a better day.
Wow.
You know, so being able to recognize that, I started doing that a little bit more.
Okay.
Up until it started to
nice.
become like natural. You know what I mean? And they were willing to accept, you know, those kind of words from people, because I think that at times
love that,
when
yeah.
you don't receive those kind of words of affirmation, like when somebody gives it to you as an individual, it's like, you know, hey man, you're really good at using your voice to go about reaching out to people. You know, it's, oh man, you do a way better job than I do. You know, so you're not willing to go about accepting those words that somebody tried to give to you. You try to pass it back to them.
Yeah, yeah,
Man,
yeah,
you're way better than I am. You know, even though they're trying to give you that gift.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
but you don't want to accept it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
You have a hard time accepting it.
Exactly. So I think that at times that's one of the hardest things for me as an individual.
Yeah.
You know, somebody could be, you know, talking me up.
Yeah.
You're so handsome. Like, oh, thanks. But, you know, you look 10 times better. You know, something
Is that
like
you in the
man.
mirror? You're sexy,
Exactly.
Brian. No, you're sexy. You're sexy.
Exactly.
Stop it, Brian.
Exactly.
Brian, are you in the bathroom talking to yourself again? No.
Exactly, man. You know, but I don't know if you guys struggle with that, man, but any kind of words of affirmation that are, you know, supposed to be building me up, I will pass them right back to somebody else and not even recognize what it was that they tried to give them to me.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah,
being
for sure.
able to receive those kind of things now, or making more of a conscious effort to be able to receive those kind of things has actually been, you know, very helpful.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good.
Someone, when I was in my youth, gave me this advice and said the best way to take a compliment is with appreciation, right? So, if you don't know what else to say, just say thank you. You know, even if you don't feel like that's you, even if you feel like you can't accept it. That's what someone told me. I was like 16 at the time. They're like, when someone compliments you, just take it with appreciation. All you have to say, if you don't know what else to say, just say thank you. You know, that's it.
That's good.
Yeah, that's legit.
But I understand the feeling, you know, just like, I don't deserve this, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
I know I've been there, for sure.
Yeah, man.
You said that to me a couple weeks ago, right after the podcast. I forgot what I said, and you're like, stop that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no, you're good. Or something, but you were like, yeah, stop that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, like that mental switch.
Yep.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, man. And sometimes we do it unconsciously, you know.
Yeah.
Up until somebody points it out to you, like, "Hey, man, why do you always put yourself down like that?" You know, you say that, you know, we're deeper in our, you know, faith than what you are. It's like, nah, man, you're right there with us. You're walking the same journey that we are. Nobody's better or worse than the other, you know. So
That's right.
That's so good. That's so good. We didn't get there, you know, overnight. So you got to be conscious about the things you're doing every day.
exactly.
You know, you didn't just have that character trait overnight. It was slowly built up over time. And just like it was built up, it can be torn down. And something else could be built up to replace that.
Exactly.
And, you know, that first and foremost, like, that's what I love about the Bible. Like, you said it. There's a manual for all these things. How to build a car, how to build. Like, when people are like, I don't know what to do in my life. Dude, it's right here.
Exactly.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Just read it. Read
Yeah.
it. And get around other people who have read it.
Exactly.
Because they can help you translate it. Because that's what you always do for me. I'm like, what is Abimelech? Who's that? What kind of, you know, what flavor is that? You know, I'm like, what are these words? And it's so intimidating.
Yeah, man.
You know, but when you can cross-reference with other people and, hey, can you explain it to me like a second grader?
Yep.
Because that's what I just need to understand it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it really does make sense.
Yeah, man.
It really does make sense. So be patient if you try to read the Bible and you're not getting it right away.
Yep.
You know, be humble enough to ask for help. Get around other Christian believers that will help sharpen you up and get you and keep you to a higher standard, because that's what it is. Life is about the standards that we keep. You want a better life? Increase your standards.
Yeah, man.
Right? Like being like a Christian has its own set of standards that it's hard to live by, especially nowadays. It is hard to live by, but that's what we're called to do.
Exactly. Now, man, I was listening to a podcast not that long ago, and it was talking about dealing with, symptoms of depression, suicidal ideations and such. And it talks about, like, how when you're going through those kind of situations, you might not feel like you can go on and do, even the bare minimum things. And what the person that recommended was, hey, when you feel like that, when you feel like you can't get out of bed, you lay there and then you start moving your toe. I was like, okay, I can move my toe. And then you try to move the rest of them. Like, okay, I can move those. Okay, I can move my foot. Okay, now I can move my leg. And gradually it just starts getting bigger. Up until the point where, okay, I can get out of bed. I can start to, do the daily actions and such. And maybe that's the way that we need to go about consuming the Bible.
Yes.
Right, where we manage it in chunks to where it is applicable to life, but we can receive it in those moments that we truly need to receive it as well.
That's so good.
So.
That's so good. I got to get, it reminds me, my good friend, his name is Marcus Anderson. He wrote this book called The Gift of Adversity. His story is actually a really cool story. I think I sent you that podcast a while back. He was actually in the Army, and we'll have him on to the guest so he can tell the actual story. I'm just going to give the super simple, quick version of it. He was in the Army, and then one morning, he woke up and his body was tingly. And one thing led to another, and he was slowly becoming paraplegic.
Oh, man.
And he actually, so they operated on him. He died twice on the operating table. He flatlined twice. Came back to life, paraplegic. And he talks about, I, wanted to end things, but I couldn't even do that. I was like, ooh.
That is tough.
You know what I mean? He's like, I couldn't even do it. I didn't even have the power to do that. And he goes into this, I'll let him tell the story, but he goes into this funk. And eventually, he gets to a place where, you know what? I'm still here. Complaining won't do anything, isn't doing anything. So what can I do? Just be grateful. Just... What can you really be grateful? There's not a whole lot, but the fact that he was alive. So he found gratitude in the small things. And then sooner or later, his fingers were starting to move. He got some movement back in his fingers. This is a miracle, y'all.
Exactly.
And then later on, he was able to grab a cup and hold a cup with his hand. And later on, he was able to walk.
Man.
He is back today. And he's a martial arts practitioner. He's back today doing his thing. You wouldn't even know this dude went through something like that.
Thank God for that.
Exactly.
Amen, yeah. So he's got such a remarkable story. And, right when you were saying that, I'm like, dude, he was just appreciative of moving his fingers and then grabbing something. And then eventually more and more of his motor skills came back. And now he's living a normal life. And I'm like, wow. So the power of gratitude,
Exactly.
Is one thing. So that's...
Remember, going through those kind of situations, I can only imagine, the appreciation that you end up having for life after,
Yeah.
Totally.
Definitely.
We deal with so much that we don't, recognize, without this, I would just be able to go on. And then you don't have it anymore. It's like, how do I go on?
Yeah.
Exactly.
The things that we are so accustomed to and that we take for granted.
Yeah. Exactly.
Totally understand that.
For sure. I mean, his book became a bestseller. He's a TEDx speaker.
It sounds like a good book, man.
Yeah. No, seriously. I'm gonna reach out to him and get him on the show. We gotta just figure out how to get him. He's out in Oklahoma right now, so
yeah.
Shout out to you, Marcus. We'll see you here soon.
Road trip.
Yeah,
Road
exactly.
trip. Yeah, road trip to Oklahoma. Yeah.
Man.
So yeah, no, it's really good stuff, man. I love these moments that we can spend with each other. And again, it was not the king that I had in mind, but this was the better king. This was the version of the king that we all needed to hear and be reminded of. Like, this is the priority.
The modern day king.
This is the modern day Kim. Kim. cut that out. Cut that out. But yeah, no, that was really good, man. Thank you guys for sharing. Thank you guys for being open and honest, radical honesty.
Yes.
Radical honesty.
Lots of stuff talked about today.
Mm-hmm.
That this is definitely a re-listen type of episode. There's so much information and golden nuggets here.
Absolutely.
So appreciate you guys. And for all y'all, we'll see you guys next week as we wrap up the lover, friend, king, and warrior. That's if we wrap up this David series. Thank you guys. See you next week.
Redwood out.